Okay, so I have wanted to get to this mrbeast document for so long, so goddamn long. It is the leaked document, how to succeed in mrbeast productions. I'm so excited to go through this. Let's do it. Hi, I'm Jimmy, mrbeast. And as the team is growing larger, I no longer get to spend as much time with everyone as I used to. The first dozen employees had unfiltered and unlimited access to me to learn as much as they could about my vision and what I wanted. Sadly, you don't have that luxury. Oh my god. Sadly, though, you're too late. You have been demoted. Wow. So I thought it would be useful to try to brain dump as much as I can into this silly little book to give new people to help them bring them up to speed on everything we've learned over the past decade with this channel. We've been through a lot, and chances are most of the problems you face we've dealt with. So I genuinely believe if you attentively read and understand the knowledge here, you will be much better set up for success. So if you read this book and pass a quiz, I'll give you $1,000. Sorry in advance for the run-on sentences and grammar issues. I'm a YouTuber, not an author. Haha. Wait, I kind of feel like I'm like, this is literally their Bible. I literally feel like I'm like applying for mrbeast right now. Should we pretend we're like applying and we just read this? Okay, perfect. So we're possible employees, right? Possible employees. And we're reading this. We've just got hired, or maybe are about to be hired. All right, that's the mindset we're reading this with, right? This is not a rule book. I need to kick this thing off by saying the purpose of this is not to give you a bunch of rules to follow. What is it, that motherfucker? Hello? On top of that, I want nothing in here to be taken literally. Well, what is this for? What we do is complex and changes based on the situation. I need you to repeat this in your head 3 times. Okay. Okay. I will apply everything I read with a grain of salt. Okay. I will apply everything I read with a grain of salt. I will apply everything I read with a grain of salt. I will apply everything I read with a grain of salt. Ugh. I will apply everything with a grain of salt. What the fuck is this? This is not an inclusive list of everything. This is 30-something pages, and this isn't everything. I hope this inspires you with questions and come to learn more. Prelude. I don't know what that means. I could make a separate book for creative, a separate book for production, a separate book for editors, etc. But I think that'd be dumb. Everything we do here is interconnected, and the more you understand about what others are doing and trying to accomplish, the better set up for success you'll be. So this will be information on all parts of mrbeast Productions, and I advise everyone to read it in its entirety. Unfortunately, we are going to be locked in and reading this in its entirety. So you better be ready. You better be ready at home. A good example of this is James Warren. Oh. We know about James Warren. He understands every single part of this company and at a deep level and as a result can make decisions faster than anyone else. The stuff you'll be reading about, he knows like the back of his hand. I've seen a team of 5 people work on a project for a week just to give up, and James will solve it in 30 minutes. Oh, he's such an angel, isn't he? I say this not to flex for him, but to show the power that comes when you understand everything in this book deeply. This is crazy! The more you know about why we do things and what we're trying to accomplish, the better off you'll be. So let's start with some basic stuff. What is this? This is so weird. This is so goddamn weird. What is your goal here? All right, let's figure out. Your goal here is to make the best YouTube videos possible. Well, I failed. That's the #1 goal of this production company. It's not to make the best produced videos, not to make the funniest videos, not to make the best looking videos, not the highest quality videos is crazy. Sorry. It's not to make the best produced videos. Not to make the funniest videos, not to make the best looking, not even the highest quality videos. It's to make the best YouTube videos possible. What does that even mean? Everything we want will come only if we strive for that. Sounds obvious, but after 6 months in the weeds, a lot of people tend to forget what we're actually trying to achieve here. Well, I don't know what you're trying to achieve. IDK, how traditional media does things. Pardon the bluntness, but this is not Hollywood, and I do not want to be Hollywood. And if that sentence is a turnoff to you, then you'll probably be at the wrong job. I genuinely mean that. YouTube is the future, and I believe with every fiber of my body, it's going to keep growing year over year, and in 5 years, YouTube will be bigger than anyone will have ever imagined, and I want this channel to be at the top. He is so crazy! Which is why I say we're not Hollywood. 99% of movies or TV shows would flop on YouTube because they'd be copyright struck. On top of that, they'd be wildly unprofitable, have no flexibility, and long lead times that can't adapt to trends. We aren't here to make a small movie once or twice a year. I want to make one a week. LOL. Which is why you need to be nimble and produce content R, in all capitals, way. Not the way you were taught before. If you want the highest, well, if he says that he's not Hollywood, why does he pander so much to Hollywood? Let me ask the audience. If you want the highest probability of success, I beg you to learn why we do what we do at a deep level before you try to fix it. We've done countless videos and invested hundreds of thousands of hours collectively building how we do things. I know it's not perfect, but we have a reason for how we do stuff, and it's probably a decent one. It's crazy. The amount of hours you work is irrelevant. Wow. Nab said, basically just admitting to being a content farm. Literally. The amount of hours you work is irrelevant. Before you get mad, the story about James solving a problem in 30 minutes, a team of 5 couldn't in a week, in that example, does it really matter how many hours they worked? Obviously, we want grinders. You want grinder? That put in the hours and love you guys to death that do. But at the end of the day, you'll be judged on results, not hours. We are a results-based company. Get shit done and move the goalpost. Whoa, this is not normal. I only want A players. As I type this, I realize it may not be the wisest to categorize everyone into 3 buckets, but this is how I believe we should look at everyone. How I believe we should look at everyone a part of the production team. You're either A player, B player, or C player. There is only room in this company for A players. A players are obsessive, learn from mistakes, coachable, intelligent, don't make excuses, believe in YouTube, see the value of this company, and are the best in the goddamn world at their job. If you thought he wasn't going to say what B player and C players are, he does. B players are the new people that need to be trained into A players. And C players are average employees. They don't suck, but they're not exceptional at what they do. They just exist, get a paycheck, they aren't obsessive, and they aren't learning. C players are poisonous and should be transitioned to a different company immediately. It's okay, we give everyone severance. They'll be fine. This is quite honestly one of the craziest things I've ever read in my entire life, and we're only on page 5. What the fuck? Emma said, I'm back. This is so bananas. You don't hear that much these days. Bananas. So bananas. Chapter 1. What makes a YouTube video viral? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, we're locking in because I want to read this. Fuck. Jesus Christ. You're only an A player if you're fucking obsessive, is what he said. I spent basically 5 years of my life locked in a room studying virality on YouTube. Fucking loser. Hi, Nab. Thank you so much for being mod. I really appreciate that. Fucking loser. Not you, Nab. Jimmy Donaldson. Some days, me and my other nerds, call it what it is, losers, would spend 20 hours straight studying the most minor things. Oh, my computer's about to turn off. Like, is there a correlation between better lighting at the start of the video and less viewer drop-off? There is. Have good lighting at the start of the video. Haha. Or other tiny things like that. And the result of those probably 20,000 to 30,000 hours of studying is, I'd say, I have a good grasp on what makes YouTube videos do well. The 3 metrics you guys need to care about is click-through rate, CTR, average view duration, AVD, and average view percentage. Who's fucking reading this and going, I would love to work for that company? Make sure you know those, phrases, because that's how most people refer to them. Up first, we'll talk about CTR. This is important no matter what department you work in. CTR is basically how many people see our thumbnails in their feeds divided by how many will click it. If 100 million people see our thumbnail and 10 million people click on it, that means 10% clicked, and we have a 10% CTR. This is what dictates what we do in videos. I spent 50 hours at my front yard is lame and you wouldn't click it, but you would hypothetically click, I spent 50 hours in ketchup. Both are relatively similar in time and effort, but the ketchup one is easily 100 times more viral. An image of someone sitting in ketchup in a bathtub is more interesting than someone sitting in their front yard. Titles are equally as important for getting someone to click. A simple way to up that CTR even more would be titling it I survived instead of I spent. This would add even more intrigue and make it more extreme. In general, the more extreme, the better. Oh, we know you think that. The more extreme, the better. I don't like bananas won't perform the same as bananas are the worst food on earth. Now, if you're in a production or creative, you might be wondering, why does the title and thumbnail matter to me? Expectations is why. The title and thumbnail of the videos you'll be producing set the expectations for the viewer of the video. Imagine you clicked on a video titled World's Largest Bouncy Castle and the thumbnail had a giant yellow bouncy castle beside a bunch of huge buildings. Then, when the video plays, it's not a yellow bouncy castle, it's red. It's also not the world's largest. It's also in the field with no buildings like the thumbnail. You'd feel like you were lied to and click off the video because it did not meet the expectations of the title thumbnail. This is why you must know the title and thumbnails of the videos you're making. Sorry, they're in capitals, so I felt the need to shout that. Shout that. How can you know how to start your video if you don't even know what the expectation your viewers have of you? Now, let's jump to the second metric that matters, AVD. This is how long, on average, people watch a given video. The cool thing about YouTube is that they give us a super detailed graph for every video that shows the exact second we lose a viewer on every single video. So here, he showed that. See that blue line in the image above? That represents the attention span of the 60 million people that watch this video. It's crazy, but we can see exactly when every single person started to click off the video. As with most of every video on YouTube, the first minute has the most lost. Go look. This is why we freak out so much about the first minute, so go above and beyond to make it the best we freaking can. On this particular video, we lost 21 million viewers in the first minute, which surprisingly compared to other videos is above average, and could have been so much worse. Let's say at the start of the video, it wasn't well lit, I didn't match the expectations of the clickbait, I didn't pre-plan what I'd say, and we didn't front load some interesting stuff for the first minute of content. How are people reading this and then enjoying his content, not knowing that he's literally treating you like a fucking social experiment? I love whenever I speak like that. It's so much fun. We could have lost much less than 21 million people because it wouldn't even have gotten 21 million views. But if the views were hypothetically fixed, then instead of still having 39 million views at the 1 minute mark, it would be more like 20 million. The first minute of each video is the most important minute of each video. After the first minute of content, you will have what we call minutes 1 through 3. This is where you transition from hype to execution, generally. Stop telling people what they'll be watching and start showing them. An example of a 1 through 3 minute tactic we use is the crazy progression. Let's say we have a 10-minute video about a guy surviving weeks in the woods. Instead of making the first 3 minutes of the video about his first day, then progressing from there like a logical filmmaker would, we'd try to cover multiple days in the first 3 minutes of the video so the viewer is now super invested in the story. How are you not reading this and literally being like, you're a lab rat, like people are commenting? Luigi, like little lab rats, literally. They've seen this man survive multiple days in the woods and emotionally now want to see how much further he can go. So weird, by the way. We also want to do something around the 3-minute mark called a 3-minute re-engagement. A re-engagement can be described as content that is highly interesting, that fits the story and makes people genuinely impressed. Another way to look at this segment that only MrBeast can do this. It's important to re-engage the viewer around this time because they could get bored of the story and click off. These re-engagements are usually spectacles and sometimes need lots of time and money to perfect. A good example of a re-engagement is when Carl was put in charge of watching Josh in the $10,000 Everyday You Survive prison video. Here's my thing. If you are literally having to do this with your content where you are making sure that you're not losing people minute per minute, the content is so fucking fake. And he says his content isn't fake. Like, how dumb do you think your audience are where you're like, oh, dangle something else in front of them, wake them up a little bit. We're at the 3-minute mark. God. Who's reading this and then being like, I really want to work at that company. I really want to work for MrBeast, please. No one. Well, no fucking normal person. Following the first minute, then minutes 1 through 3, is obviously what we call minute 3 through minute 6. And it's the most important part of the video. This is where you plan out all of the most exciting and interesting content that is also very simple. This includes lots of quick scene changes and highly stimulating, simple content that reflects the story. The goal is to make them fall in love with the story, the people in the video, and the overall video itself. If we can get them to watch the first half of the video, there's a high clear chance they'll watch till the end. Usually at the 6-minute mark, we'll include another re-engagement that is highly interesting but needs a little bit more explanation that will push the story. And lastly, we have what we call half content. I have to be careful writing this because I don't want you ever to think for a second that I'm okay with content being subpar. Can't wait to hear what he's about to say. Many videos have been killed because the back half content was ass, lol. But in general, once you have someone for 6 minutes, they are super invested in the story and probably in what I call a lull. They are watching the video without even realizing they're watching a video. He thinks y'all are stupid as fuck. Typically, the not as good content would be in the back half of the video. Don't ever signal the end of the video unless it's to build hype for the prize or payoff at the end of the video. This is also where long explanation bits can live, and if something unexpected happens or things don't go to plan, it can be turned into content. The above paragraphs are why you'll hear us ask what minute mark in the video that you're working on. Whether it's production, creative, or editing, you must always know what minute mark the content you're working on. If you don't, then you're not doing it right. I just whipped out a calculator, and the combined seconds of content of our last 100 videos is 81,801 seconds, which divided by 100 means the average MrBeast video is 818 seconds or 13 minutes and 37 seconds. Some are shorter, like when we do real-time shits or something more emotional and don't want it dragged out, like Jake Weddle. And some are longer, giant spectacles like giving away an island, for example. But 13 minutes is the average, and you are expected to know when producing which minute of that 13 minutes you're working on. So how is that content not going to be fake if it's literally planned down to the fucking minute? And since we're on the topic of graphs, here's a cool visual. The last of the 3 trackable metrics that matters to virality is AVP, and to be honest, that doesn't matter as much to you. Usually the length of the video will be decided by me or Tyler. I just need you to make people watch as long as possible. Another non-trackable thing about virality I'd like you to know is what we call the wow factor, and it's definitely the most subjective. You can check all the above boxes for CTR and AVD, but the video still do for us. An example of the wow factor would be our 100 days in the circle video. We offered someone $500,000 if they could live in a circle in a field for 100 days, and instead of starting with his house in the circle that he would live in, we bring it in on a crane 30 seconds into the video. Why? Because why the fuck else on YouTube can do that, lol? Because who the fuck? This is so badly written. Ugh. The fact we lifted a house on a crane didn't add anything to the title and thumbnail. It obviously hooked the viewers and helped retention, but there are millions of ways we could have done that easier. It's arguably, from a data standpoint, illogical and a waste of time, but the impression it leaves on the viewer is invaluable for us. Anytime we do something that no other creator can do, that separates us in their mind and makes our videos more special to them. It changes how they see us, and it does make them watch more videos and engage more with the brand. You can track the wow factor, but I can describe it. Or you can't track it, but I can describe it. Anything that no other YouTuber can do, and it's important that we never lose our wow factor. My God. Chapter 2, creating content. For this next part, I want to write about actually creating content. I'm not going to talk about any production system in particular because the way we run this production changes almost every year. I just want to pass on things I see new people typically fail at, and in general, what I want. Our videos are hard, and if you look at the difficulty of our videos and treadlined it over time, you'd see they're only getting harder. How hard do they have to go? Until people are seriously injured? Going crazy? God. He's cussing just to seem more relatable to his employees. It fucking sounds like it. He's so cool, you know what I mean? He's so cool. Oh my God. Chapter 2. I'm gonna run to get my third drink because I need another drink for this. I'll be right back. Dear God. We're only on chapter 1. You think I don't need another drink? Please. Chapter 2. Creating content. Oh, that was good. For this next part, I want to write about actually creating content. I'm not going to talk about any production system in particular because the way we run this... By the way, people have to read this before they get hired. Yapper of the year. Yapper of the year. All right. I just want to pass on things I see new people typically fail at and in general what I want. Our videos are hard, and if you look at the difficulty of our videos and treadlined it over time, you'd see things are only getting harder. It's like a little threat. This is why I want the best in the world and people who are obsessed. He keeps going back to this obsessed point. Jesus Christ. This is crazy. If you're not growing, eventually the difficulties of the videos will outgrow you. Threat. Whether it be production, creative, camera, or editing, I want you to be obsessed with YouTube. Guys, this is not normal. This is not normal. Get rid of Netflix and Hulu and watch tons of... Does that apply to his Amazon deal as well? How do Amazon feel that he's literally in the handbook saying, get rid of all of them and just watch YouTube? And watch tons of YouTube. It will, without a doubt, in my mind, make you more successful. I wish he would say, go watch Adam McIntyre. The more invested you are in our world of YouTube, the more you'll understand trends, how we can stand out and be more original, what we could do better, etc. You should also really try to watch... Oh my God. You should also try to... You should also really try to watch every mrbeast video on all of the channels. Sounds obvious, but I've asked multiple people this week what they thought about last week's gaming video, and not a single person, not even just the main videos, the gaming videos. On top of learning from watching YouTube, I'd love you to read The Goal, if you haven't already. I used to make everyone read it. I know bottlenecks are obvious, and it will sound like I'm talking to 10-year-olds sometimes, but just not knowing and understand something as simple as bottlenecks has fucked tons of videos. You should all deeply understand the work stream from when a video hits the calendar to when it's filmed. I don't have the best track record of making the video filming calendar super far out and sticking with it. Let's say you're in production and a video you're assigned is put up to 45 days out. A lot of things need to happen before you can start working on it. The big things would probably be you need to work on a thumbnail sketch and creative on your team to write the video. Do not just go to them and say, I need creative. Let me know when it's done. And I need a thumbnail. Let me know when it's done. This is what most people do, and it's the one reasons why we fail so much. I want you to look them in the eyes and tell them they are the bottleneck and take it a step further and explain to them why they are the bottleneck so you both are on the same page. Tyler, you are my bottleneck. What does that mean? I don't understand what bottleneck means. Can someone please update me? What the fuck does bottleneck mean? All this is for a YouTube channel, by the way. What does bottleneck mean? Be obsessed with YouTube, specifically my YouTube, literally. What does bottleneck mean? Anyone? A choke point? It's like a stop. Okay. Tyler, you're my bottleneck. I have 45 days to make this happen, and I cannot begin to work on it until I know what the contents of the video are. I need you to confirm you understand this is important when you need to set a date for when the creative will be done. Now, this person who also has tons of shit going on is aware of how important this discussion is. So he's basically saying, now that you've given someone who already has a huge workload more workload, now we can move on to your workload. Now, let's say Tyler and you agree it will be done in 5 days. In capitals. You don't get to set a reminder for 5 days and not talk to him for 5 days. Every single day, you must check in on Tyler and make sure he's still on track to hit the target date. I want less excuses in this company. Take ownership and don't give your project a chance to fail. Dumping your bottleneck on someone and then just walking away from it until it's done is lazy and gives room for error. And I want you to have the mindset that God himself couldn't stop you from making this video on time. God himself could not stop you from making this video on time. mrbeast said that, allegedly. Check in daily. Leave no room for error. For this next part, I just want to brain dump about random things and explain why we do say certain things. If you understand all this, then you'll be in a good spot. Like seriously, these are cheat codes and you should take them to heart. Oh my god, Milk, Tsunami, thank you. A bottleneck is like a 50-lane highway turned to a 2-lane where they all merge at the bottleneck. Okay. Video everything. I really want us to see producing as a team job, not a solo thing, which is why it's important for you to video everything critical and also anything you think people would ask about. Let's say you go to scout a set for a video in a month while the rest of the team are working on this week's video. Most people just go to scout the set, maybe grab a photo, and walk around and try to grab a good mental model of it. Then a week later when you're back, the video is now Tyler's main focus, and then he starts to ask questions about it and you can't quite recall. The questions get more and more detailed, and you go off of what's on your mind. The rest of the production team also needs to start planning bits, but they don't know what it looks like, and it's now a shit show. This is why we say video everything, which is more important than one person has a good mental grip of everything, so then they can recall it. Obviously, the team. The easiest way to bring your team up to the same page is to frickin' video everything and store it where they can constantly reference it. A lot of problems can be solved if we just video sets and ask for videos when ordering things, especially because I personally am a visual guy and I always want to see what we're doing. Video everything. God. Say the negatives. Title says it all. Don't just tell people on your team or me why something is good. It's infinitely more valuable to tell us why it's not good. I find the cast elbow we need for the video, but it's booked all year over budget and someone died in it last week. That's the entire paragraph, by the way. It's the entire paragraph. It's your fault. Track the contractor. I know I already talked about this, but if there's one thing I'd really love to impose on you, it's that you just can't dump and forget your projects. I can't stand when people dump and forget their project on a contractor and then the day before the shit blame everything on them when it's not ready. That's on you. Let's say we're building the world's largest water balloon and you need someone to make a giant wooden stand for it to sit on. Most people here would just call someone like GB and have him and tell him to have it done by filming day. Instead, you should have it done a certain time frame in advance. You need to use your own intelligence based on the project to determine that. in case something is off and we need to make changes. And you need to begin to decide whether or not it's a critical component. If it is, you should also begin working on the backdrop. And while working on a backdrop, you should check in with JB every single day. Ask him to send videos every single day to spot problems early. Hell, talk to him twice a day. I don't care. I just don't want to leave room for error. No excuses. Stop leaving room for error. Check in daily. Receive videos. And know weeks in advance if you're fucked. Not days. Oh my God. This is crazy. I am not always right. This one's going to be good. Shocker. I know. Oh, God. This is excruciating. I know, like, we're not even hired yet. We're not even hired yet. I just realized I have vodka and Sprite downstairs. Ugh. I would love a drink right now. I'm on page 13 of 36. Give me a fucking drink. Give me an edible. I'm young, and I'll be the first to admit I'm not perfect. I'm so obsessed with how long this is. Oh, this entire section is him talking about how he's not perfect. I promise not a single person on this planet wants us to succeed more than I do. And no matter how much you work, you'll never invest more time into this than I will. So even as much as you do great, you'll never be him. Whew. But I can't promise I'll always be right. Having said that, there are ways you can help me be right more often. For starters, you need to understand the world I'm in and how my mind works. Well, I don't want to know how your mind works. This book in particular is for our production company, which, by the way, is the most important company and allows everything else to succeed. Without the videos, everything else dies. But it's not all I have going on. I have to be the main talent for every gaming video, every Reacts video, every philanthropy video, every TikTok, Insta post, and every main channel video. Which is basically 3 full-time jobs in one. Try being an influencer for a day. Little things like sending videos to people for their birthdays, attending events, networking, etc. Oh, God. He has the hardest life. His jobs include sending videos to people for their birthdays, attending events, and networking. How is this real? How is this real? Literally, how is this real? All add up because I'm the face of the channel. On top of being the main talent, I have to work with each channel to make sure the creatives are always evolving and not getting stale, and in general be a visionary for them. Basically running 4 channels at a high... I need a burp. I had that a brewing. Basically running 4 channels at a higher level than anyone else in the world can run 1. We also have a Beast Burger and Feastables. You know how I feel about Beast Burger. And I can never have it again. That's a shame. The chocolate I can do without, quite frankly, but those damn burgers. Those damn burgers. Then anyone else in the world can run 1. We also have a Beast Burger and Feastables, and I still have to set the vision and be the lead creative. On top of all that, we get it! I love that he's like, I'm not perfect. And now he's listing all the reasons that he's better than you. On top of that, we dub our channels in other languages and run a translation company that works with other channels as well. I also multiple times a week have to call other YouTubers and see what they're testing or doing so I can always stay up to date and make sure we aren't missing anything. AKA, you need me networking a lot. So basically, you need him. What I'm trying to say is I have to run 4 channels, 3 businesses, a charity, and network maintain our image at the same time. How does he do it? How does he do it? So when you need something from me, you have to understand that I'm probably not as knowledgeable about a video as you. Whatever you don't tell me, I don't know. When getting an answer from me, it's ideal you do the research and come to me with context and opinion or options instead of saying in a coming up video, we're giving away a car. What do you think of this Lexus? It's only $10,000, which is how 99% of questions are asked towards me. Do this instead of we have a coming up. Would you rather? God. Is there no fucking, why is this worded so badly? We have an upcoming video, which is a would you rather. One of the bits at the 6 to 9 minute, 69 mark, we will be giving away a car. We're still on budget and the budget for this car is $10,000. I check with PM. It could be up to another $5,000 if you really wanted. I searched all the NC for cool ass cars around that price point and there are 5 I found that are on budget. I also have 5 other options. Here's a picture of all 10 cars, the miles on each card, and the options. Which of these cars do you think I should get? So basically he's saying that someone coming to him with so much research is not great because he doesn't want to be a part of it. He's literally saying that someone doing that amount of research is bad. If you want to look like you're doing your job and don't care about the success of the video, ask me questions like the first example. If you want to take accountability... Oh, wait. Sorry, I read that in the wrong order. He actually... He did this correctly, actually. I'll give my 10s for 10s to you. Sorry, it's worded so fucking wrong that I wouldn't even know. He's basically saying, if you want to take accountability and make your videos happen at a better success, do a second option. This doesn't apply to me. It applies to anyone higher. I read that wrong, but maybe he should fucking phrase this better. Critical components. Page 14. It's going to be a long night, y'all. It's fucking 3 a.m. for me already. We're locking in. Critical components are the things that are essential to your video. If I want to put 100 people on an island and give it away to one of them, then securing an island is a critical component. It doesn't matter how well planned the challenges on the island are, how good the weather is, etc. So I'm burping a lot now. My body is like, wrap it up. Wrap it up. V said boring clickbait. Bye. V. The title of this live stream is Taddy Westbrook's Return. What did we spend the first hour and a half doing? Talking about Taddy Westbrook's return. Then there's a comma. It says Trisha Paytas responds. What did we do for another hour? Watch Trisha Paytas respond. Comma. Mr. Beast leaked document. What are we on now? V. Mr. Beast document. All right. It doesn't matter how well we've planned the challenges on the island are, we need to have an island. Another example of a critical component would be the title and thumbnail. Remember that bouncy castle story from earlier? Yeah, I do remember it. I do remember it. Bro, you're a little tipsy too. What's so unfortunate about that is that I'm not, but I wish I was. If I'm only on page 14, I wish I was tipsy. I wish I was tipsy. If you would put a bottle of tequila in front of me right now, I'd probably down half of it. How the thumbnail had a yellow bouncy castle, but the video had a red one. The thumbnails of the videos you're producing can also create critical components. A third example of a critical component would be if the creative on your team pitched me a video of 10 challenges and I said, I like the video, but mostly because of challenge 3 and 7. I'd hate the video without them. Challenge 3 and 7 are now essential to the video and thus critical components. Critical components can literally come from anywhere. And once something you're working on is labeled as such, you treat it like your baby. You treat it like your baby. Without what you're working on, we don't have a video. Protect it at all costs. Check on it 10 times a day. Obsess over it. Make a backup. If it requires shipping, pay someone to pick it up and drive it. Don't trust standard shipping. Speak up the second anything goes wrong. The literal second. Never coin flip a critical component. That means you're coin flipping the video, aka $1 million+. And always bring in me or James earlier rather than later. My God. Fuck me. Communication lines. It's very important as a company we maintain proper communication lines, on and off set. There is always someone responsible for everyone on the video, and if multiple people are responsible for the same thing, then that's a problem and needs to be fixed immediately. Ideally, when communicating across departments, you go up and then over. If you skip, then what? If you skip and just go below you. He's phrased this so bad. He's phrased this so bad. Prize must then call and let people in charge know. Let's say you're a production coordinator, and if you call a writer and tell them you need some bits about a sandwich being cooked with lava, seems harmless. Except now Tyler, head of creative, has no idea what his writer is working on, and worse, doesn't know that that's an option. When he directs the video, Will, head of production, also has no idea that this has been set into motion, and when planning and tracking the progress of the video, doesn't know to account for this. Will later finds out about it and assumes Tyler approved that bit and starts planning on how to make lava, and then wastes 3 days making lava until Tyler catches wind, and then Tyler asks her why she's making lava, and she has no idea and everyone's confused. This is what happens when you don't follow proper communication lines. When this bit was requested, Tyler and Ali were called first, days of bullshit would have been saved. Seems simple, but it happens dozens of times a week and causes tons of double of triple work. God. Creativity saves money. We're at the halfway point, you guys. I don't think it comes as a surprise when I say we don't have unlimited money here. We can't have every single video constantly going over budget because the money has to come from somewhere, but you're in a tough spot because I constantly want better and better videos. A lot of people who work here have definitely thought before, if Jimmy wants us to be on budget, why does he keep asking we do expensive things? Or, I know Jimmy won't like this, so I need to spend more money. People always assume money is the answer, and if we just spend more money, we can give Jimmy what he wants, which is wrong. Creativity is the answer. Here's an example I use all the time with our gaming team. They love to give away money every single video, but which sounds cooler to you as a prize for a gaming video? $20,000 or a year's supply of Doritos? To me, Doritos is so much funnier, and I think our audience would find it fucking hilarious. Well, me, I would prefer the $20,000 fucking dollars. He's literally saying, save money, give away Doritos instead of $20,000. I would not say that the majority of people would take the Doritos per year. I'm sure they would take the $20,000. Dipshit. To me, Doritos is so much more funny. Yeah, because you're a fucking millionaire. So let's say we define a year's supply of Doritos by 5 packs of Doritos a day for 365 days. That's 1,825 packs of Doritos, and a quick Google search shows you can buy a pack of Doritos for less than $1. We'll round up and say we buy $1 per pack of Doritos. Our price for the video just went from $20,000 down to $1,800 because we didn't throw money at the problem and we used creativity. Y'all, would you rather the $20,000 or a year's supply of Doritos? I'm sure the only people that would take the year's supply of Doritos are the millionaires, like Jimmy Donaldson. This is such a weird thing. This applies to everything every single one of you do, whether it be finding a crane for a video, deciding prizes, picking locations, finding critical components. For my tour that I do in America, I'm going to be giving away Doritos. Not going to be giving money away, but I'm going to be giving Doritos away. Hope you're all fine with that. Or doing the most minuscule thing. Use creativity to save money because every single dollar allows me to give you guys more stability and hire more people to make your life easier. But you said earlier, everyone's saying $20,000. Give me the money. Give me the dollar. Give me the dollar. So many people, I saw on Twitter, we're talking about this as well. In this document, he's like, the more money you save, the more I can hire people and make your life easier. But all he says in this is you need to be doubling your workload, like double it and give it to the next person. So that's not true. If you want to succeed here, say this 10 times in your head. Creativity saves money. Creativity saves money. Creativity saves money. Creativity. This is a cult. Always have a backup day. No one will ever have a 100% success rate when it comes to filming our videos on time and on budget. It's impossible, but you can still do certain things to increase the probability of success, and one of the easiest but most overlooked things is having a backup day. When you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars securing a set, renting a tank, etc., make sure you have the ability to extend them in case something goes wrong. It might not even be your video. Something might go wrong on gaming, and I need you to slide your video a day forward for it. I'd also rather have a hypothetical 90% cool-looking tank with a dope owner who is making life easier for us, letting me do whatever I want, and the ability to pay extra to add a day, than a 100% cool-looking tank, but the owner micromanages what we do and there's no backup day. This example is obvious, just throwing it out there to inspire you. Always check with creative before you go to do something like this, but backup days are necessary, and ideally we work with people to see the value in us, and we want to love them. Don't take everything at face value. Always dig. My God. One of the most common themes you're probably seeing is accountability and the double downs of that. Don't take everything at face value. Always dig. This is particularly important when dealing with people outside of the MrBeast production team. If someone says something too good to be true, find out why. If it's fishy, investigate. If you need 10,000 pillows by the next week and you've called 10 pillow companies and none of them have a few more than 100 in stock, but then the 11th company magically has 10,000 pillows, investigate. Are they dropping shipping? Are the pillows shitty? Why the fuck does no one want your pillows? Push and get the answers. What tends to happen is people think that their job is done by finding the 10K pillows and just ordering them instead of finding the problems with it. Do not overly trust people outside the company. Well, it seems like you can't even fucking trust people in the company. Investigate and verify why they do that. So he's basically saying, find your 10,000 pillows, but then when you find them, it's still not good enough. What the fuck? He's literally saying that. He's saying that, like, once you find it, it's still not good enough. God. Page 17. Higher forms of communication. If you spend any amount of time with James, you'll hear him bringing up higher forms of communication a lot because it's important and somewhat very overlooked by most people. The worst thing you could ever do when you need something for your critical component is email someone at the company. Yeah, but I thought communication was great. Whatever way that looks. The best is to talk to them in real life, but then there's no paper trail and you could be accused of not doing it. Ba-da-da. Grab them in real life. The lower the form of communication, the more miscommunication you'll face. As I'm typing this, you have no idea if I'm laughing, smiling, happy, mad, or sad. You can't read my body language. Well, we can kind of tell a little bit about you. His analogies are so bad. Hello, Emily. Welcome. Need more toilet paper in the bathroom? A text is probably fine. 1 week out from a video and things that you're working on went south, minimum a multi-way call with the heads of the video. Ideally, grab them in real life if you can. The more complex what needs to be said is the higher form of communication you should use. Call first, then text if they don't answer. Since we're on topic of communication, written communication also does not constitute communication unless they confirm they read it. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm seeing red. Own your mistakes. This is crazy. This is really crazy. I hate excuses, and I despise with my entire soul when people try to save face instead of learning how they messed up. Mistakes are okay. Genuinely they are, and I expect you to make a lot. That's perfectly fine. Every veteran here has cost me $1 million at one point or another. And you can ask them if I ever held it over their heads. Well, you're literally putting it in the work document right now, so I do think that you have a tendency to hold it over their head, if I'm being honest with you, Jimmy Donaldson. It's crazy that he's like, everyone has cost me $1 million at a time. You're blaming them. It's a threat. Not me done another can. I need another. I'm on page 18. Bonnie and Dolly, my dogs, throw me in it, fucking Coke. The reason I'm okay with fuck ups is because that's how you learn. I see it as me investing in you and your brain. Hence why I have zero tolerance for C players and they must go immediately. Those fuck ups could be done by an A player because they'll retain the information learned. I just beg that you learn from every mistake and try not to repeat it. That's when it gets annoying. I've never ever once fired someone for messing up on the spot. You probably fired them after, babe. Page 18. How are we feeling? We're more than halfway done. If that's exciting. Nothing comes before your prios. When you've been assigned tasks, you should have what we call a prio list. If Ali says your prios are to, number 1, get a Lamborghini under 200,000. Number 2, get it wrapped in anime characters. Number 3, make a custom steering wheel. Then nothing on this freaking planet is allowed to come between you and getting those prios done. Such an unhealthy work environment. It's so unhealthy. It's really, really, really unhealthy. And it's so scary that this is like a workplace environment. It really is. Also, we just hit 4 hours on live stream, everyone. Congratulations. We have been on here for 4 hours, and I have actually been having the best time. This document is quite excruciating, but I'm still enjoying it. If the other team asks for your help and you spend 2 days helping them, then you fall behind on getting your Lamborghini. That's your fault. If the studio is burning and you stop working just to put out the fire and don't get the Lamborghini, that's your fault. Jokes, haha. But seriously, don't let anything come before your prios. Wow. 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 Wow, 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 wow. Can people comment prio list and list in capital and then the purple emoji? It just like, it fills me with so much joy seeing that purple emoji thing. Use consultants. Consultants are literally cheat codes. Need to make the world's largest slice of cake? Oh, I'm so hungry. I could eat a slice of cake. Start off by calling the person who made the previous world's largest slice of cake. LOL. He's already done countless tests and can save you weeks of work. I really want to drill this point home because I'm a massive believer in consultants. Because I've spent almost a decade in my life hyper-obsessing over YouTube. I can show a brand new creator how to go from 100 subscribers in 10,000 subscribers in a month. On their own, it would take them years to do it. Consultants are a gift from God. Please take advantage of them. And every single freaking task assigned to you, you will always ask yourself first if you can find a consultant to help you. Sorry, the prior list comments are so funny. This is so important that I'm demanding you repeat this 3 times in your head. I will always check for consultants when assigned a task. This is so fucking weird for a workplace environment to be drilling this in so much, you guys. The prior list comments are so funny. Math, science, vision, approvals, budget. Everything you need can be solved by one of the 5 things above. Use math, science, vision, approvals, or budget. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Read the screen, you guys. Read the screen. Uh-oh. We've reached this part. We have reached the no does not mean no part. There is literally a part in his little list that says no does not mean no. Here we go. No does not mean no. Which is directly stemming from sexual assault. When dealing with people outside of MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of and you call the local Dollar Tree and that person on the answering says, no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if there are any fans or if any of their kids are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me, Mr. Beast, DM them on Twitter and talk to their social media team. If all other avenues are exhausted and you're left with a no, that doesn't mean you can't try the other Dollar Tree, because the manager of those could be a huge fan of me and willing to bend the rules, which, by the way, is Mr. Beast trying to use his fame, power, and money as a way of getting other people to bend the rules and getting themselves in trouble, but he doesn't give a shit about that because he's Jimmy Donaldson. It's so crazy to be like, no doesn't mean no. If they tell you no, tell them I'll DM them. Tell them I'll follow them. Tell me I'll give a shout out. What the fuck? Basically, what I'm trying to convey. What are you trying to convey? What I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't just stop because one person told you. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of my many tools that, when combined dramatically, improve your probability of success when producing here. What the fuck? What the fuck? Literally, what the fuck? This is so fucked up. Work on multiple videos every day. Please do not come in and only work on one video during a workday. That's how you fall behind on future videos and create a nasty cycle that I'm trying to stop. If you drop everything and go all in on one video for 3 days, then that's 3 days your other videos will fall behind. Maybe don't give workers this kind of workload where they're this overworked. It'll snowball into you can't do anything but focus on what's right in front of you because you murdered any lead time you had. If you ever only work on one video during a workday, you have failed as a Mr. Beast employee. Is literally in this document. If you only work on one video, you have failed as a Mr. Beast employee. Don't sleep, don't eat, just make videos on repeat. Brad Summer's not over yet. Be able to hold a camera. Obviously, everyone has their roles in this company, and to be honest, if you can consistently lead and produce videos for me with a 90% successful rate, I don't care if you piss in the sink every day. I'll still love you. But having said that, it'd be nice if at some point you got training on our style of holding a camera. When we do a big shoot, not local, it'd be nice not to have to bring 1 million production people and 1 million camera people. So basically, not have to pay more people for work that you can already get your employees to do, adding to their workload. If, for example, there are only a few scenes that need a couple extra camera crew, I'd love us to not have to fly, house, and transport and baby is crazy, more cameramen, when we could just have a few people from the production team help us. But I thought they were editing their 3 fucking videos. Jimmy? He goes, if you piss in the sink, I love you. I love you. I love you so much for pissing in the sink. Oh my God. Piss on the floor. One out of 10, good. 10 out of 10, bad. YouTube has a feature that compares a new uploads program or performance to the previous 9 videos and tells you how the video ranks in the first hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. This is what it looks like. I have this too. Blah, 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 blah. It basically ranks how your video is doing compared to the other ones you've uploaded. So if you hear someone ask what a video was out of 10, this is what they're asking for. Pretty standard. We're on page 23, guys. Random things you should know. I'm almost done with this chapter. Just with that chapter. Oh my God. Piss on the floor. He's almost done with this chapter. god. What have you done? You're a pink pony girl, and you dance up in club. Pink pony club. I'm gonna keep on dancing. All right, I'm almost done with this chapter, and then we can move. Then we can move on to creative. Who's reading this? Like, are employees actually reading this? But before we do, I still have tons of notes. I'm sure you fucking do. I'm producing content that I really can't break into their own section, so I want to rapid fire them. Okay, great. So you have them for once you start your journey. Do not leave contestants waiting in the sun, ideally waiting in general for more than 3 hours. Don't leave them in the sun for more than 3 hours. Squid Games costed us 500,000, and Boys vs. Girl, it got a lot of people out. Ask James to know more. Spectacles are videos that only mrbeast channel can do. Not every video should be a spectacle, and we realize these videos are hard, but that's the point. I hate having tons of people on set. If someone is necessary, then that's fine. But if not, kick them off set and go have them watch from behind a monitor. Create an environment where the contestants also feel natural. I'd rather you be honest with each other than nice to each other, which is so crazy because it's creating a workplace environment where it's okay to be a fucking cunt to people. I'd rather you be honest than be nice. That is so ambiguous that it will cause problems. Do not talk down to talent or do anything to make them feel like shit. I need them to be happy and in good moods for the videos, of course. And those boys are... Oh, no, sorry. He's talking about his boys. And those boys are special to me. Ideally, most talk with talent. Chris, Carl, Chandler, Nolan go through me. So he's saying, don't make my boys angry. Treat my boys so happy. The rest of the contestants? Fuck them. Me like simple. This isn't an official document. Me like simple. The simpler, the better. Apply with a grain of salt. We pivot a lot. Be ready to have everything flipped on its head at a moment's notice. LOL. I want money spent to be shown on camera. Ideally. If you're spending over $10,000 on something and it won't be shown on camera, seriously, think about it. I believe that's for tax write-off because then they can say it was for video, for work. Now this money needs to come off their tax, but also just kind of proves that he does everything for money. He's giving money to homeless while he's filming it because he doesn't care about the homeless and only cares about the perception of him. And how gross is that? But isn't he YouTube's sweetheart? Yeah, he is, right? Yeah, okay. Work with intensity. Push outwards, not inwards. Pull all-nighters. God, this one's crazy. Pull all-nighters weeks before the shit, so you don't have to days before the shit, which inherently is acknowledging to the person that they have to pull an all-nighter in some way. Either weeks before or days before. You have to work overtime. You have to work overtime. And there's no ifs or buts about it. You're either pulling all-nighters in advance or the day before. Make up your fucking mind. If something goes wrong on shit, always check to see if we can... oh my god. If something goes wrong on shits, try to see if it can be turned into content. A tree falls over in your car and breaks the 100 vases we needed to give away. That's hilarious and we should mention it in the video. LOL. Feastables is working to see if the critical components of a video are actually possible. Example would be if I wanted to play hide and seek in the world's largest building. If you did feastability on this... that basically means you're trying to see if it's possible to get that building. If you do, then we have a video and should go into production. If you can't, then that's why it was in the feasibility, so no one wastes time. Never do anything that could make us look bad from a PR perspective. Isn't that so crazy? Never do anything that could make us look bad from a PR perspective. It's all about fucking image. It's so fucking fake. We often do renderings of set to see what they'll look like beforehand, which is amazing and helps a lot to create as I'm visual and we get it and gets the whole team on the same page. When doing these renders though, I want to make sure you know the difference between a previs and a concept. Please do not refer to a render as a previs unless it's actually what we're working on. If it's just a render for inspiration and not building locked, call it a concept. This will greatly help with the confusion in my opinion. Many people wave around a concept but call it a previs and people see it, whatever the fuck that means, no one gives a shit. Creative, chapter 3. We're on chapter 3. Well done, you guys, we're on chapter 3. Creative. We are a creative first production company. Because when creative leads the vision of the shit, the product is always better. So I think it's important you all understand creative. It is what drives everything we do and is the heart of our content. Being creative and understanding what makes good content is like cheat codes when in production, camera, and obviously editing. Let's take production for example. Let's say you're being tasked with finding us a castle to live in for 50 hours, and while doing research, you find a castle and a number to call for the owner. So you do call and he answers. Only problem is he says he quit the castle renting business to pursue his dream of building a 100-foot tall Lego catapult. You can obviously tell where I'm going with this. Ideally, you'd recognize that's badass as fuck and try to convince him to let us use it or find another castle. This is a bad example because it's so obvious, but if you're doing your job right, you'll be doing an absurd amount of calls and data collecting. While trying to complete your prios and prepare for the video, you should always be on the lookout for new things you can bring to your creative team to inspire them. Because just like me, they don't know what they don't know. And you can't just say, I'm in production and I'm not very creative, because that's literally the equivalent to saying, I suck at what I do. He's so derogatory towards them. My God. I also need to pull this fan up because I am sweating. I'm sweating so much. I'm under these hot lights. I'm so sweaty. Ooh, that feels so much better. You also need to apply the same mindset when problem solving, because many people lose sight of this stuff when in the weeds. If a problem appears, always ask yourself if the new plan is what's best for creative, not just the easiest band-aid. What is the goal of our content? I'm excited to figure it out. I don't know about you guys. I'm excited. To excite me, the goal of the content is to excite me. Oh. Okay. Right. What is the overall goal here? Excite Mr. Beast. Okay. That may sound weird to some of you. Yeah, it does, babe. Especially if you're new, but to me, it's what's most important. If I'm not excited to get in front of that camera and film the video, it's just simply not gonna happen. I'm not fake. Okay. 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 And I will be authentic. Oh, okay. Okay. That's partly why the channel does so well. And if I'm not excited by the video, we're fucked. Luckily, I'd say I'm a pretty predictable guy, at least in this regard. Haha. What excites me is what I believe will make the audience happy. That's why it's always, that's what it's been and always will be. I'm willing to count to 100,000, bury myself alive, or walk a marathon in the world's largest pair of shoes if I must. I just want to do what makes people happy and ultimately the viewers happy. When speaking about them earlier as if they're dumb fucks by 6-minute mark, 3-minute mark. I'm emotionally connected to it, and that's sad. But this is the one thing I'll never compromise on. I have zero issues throwing away a multi-million-dollar video if I don't think it's up to my standards and good for the audience. We must always be improving and innovating. The camera angles always need to get better, the pacing, the story, the jokes, the color, the lighting, the music, the props, the people, the framing, the ideas. Literally everything always must be improving and innovating, because that is what excites me. That's literally what I live for, to see these videos get better and better, and ultimately the viewers happy. What makes good content? He's such an empath. He's the biggest empath I've ever heard. He really is. He's actually really inspiring. He's inspired me a lot. I really want to work for him after this. Do you not want to work for him after this? This is where things get subjective. Oh, was the rest not subjective? Oh my God. And my brain is probably going to turn into mush. Yours is, or ours are. The problem with what I'm writing here is that good content is limitless. Literally anything can make good content. Let's take a baby doll, for example. You can see who can throw it the furthest with their left hand out of a group of 5 people. Watching them throw a baby doll with their bad hand and funny sound effects is freaking hilarious. Haha, not really. You can also go the opposite route and have 1,000 baby dolls and see how many it takes them to throw in a crib 100 or 200 feet away. Or you can see how many baby dolls it would take to break a 2x4 in half. The point I'm trying to convey here is that even something as simple as baby dolls has an infinite amount of ways you can turn it into amazing, original, and funny. That was not original, funny, or amazing to me. I'm going to be honest. That's one of the secret weapons of Mr. Beast Productions. We aren't stuck in any old ways of thinking and can turn literally anything into content, like baby dolls. Good content can be anything. Always have an open mind and never stop innovating. Having said that, this is YouTube and there are obviously constraints. You know the video can't be a minute, so you're obviously going to need a story to hold the viewers, and there are rules to storytelling. I thought you said YouTube has no rules. It was Hollywood that had rules for storytelling. Our audience is massive, and because of that, you have to be simple. He's calling y'all stupid, by the way. For 50 million people to understand something, it must be simple. Content can be anything, but there is structure and rules it must mold that I want to teach you about, because virality doesn't just happen. Every frame of your video will be seen by tens of millions of people. How to measure the success of content. Like I said at the start, this metric you care about in regards to virality are CTR, AVD, and AVP. If you want to know if the contents of a video are good, just look at the AVD, AVP of a video after we upload it, because based on how long people watch and what percentage of the video they watched, you can clearly see if they enjoyed it. To show this in action, below is a rendition, or retention, sorry. I'm currently filming this at 3 a.m. Be gentle with me. Of two separate videos of almost identical length form from the video. All AVD and AVD data I share will be first day data to make sure it applies. If you don't know what this means, it's mostly in case Mario gets his hands on this. One video has 120 million views and the other only has 45 million views. Look at the retention numbers and see if you can pick which one got triple the views. The answer is the lower image. People on average watch this video a minute and 38 seconds longer than the video of the same length. Of course it got triple the views. It's clear as day for YouTube that people like this video so much more. For your videos to do well, you must get their AVD and AVP as high as possible. The longer people watch, the better a video will do. This is why I'm such a stickler about every single second of content. Hook people at the start of the video, transition them to an amazing story they're invested in, have no dull moments, and then have a satisfying payoff at the end with an abrupt ending. Why are people not reading this and then watching his videos, like I said, being like, wow, this is so structured for me to just stay watching for longer? Page 29. Formats. One way to boost retention on a video is to have a good format for the videos to follow. Let's use our popular Last to Leave series as an example. These videos have many reasons why they do well, but one in particular is the payoff at the end. You see, once you start watching a Last to Leave, you get invested in the progress and the challenge. You really want to see who leaves the circle last and wins the $100,000. Luckily, the winner isn't revealed until the end of the video, so as long as we don't make the video boring as hell, people are most likely willing to stick around till the end. Strong payoffs at the end of the video boost retention, but obviously Last to Leave isn't our only format. Another example of a format is what I call stair-stepping. A good example of this is, I bought the world's largest firework. This video opens with us showing all the fireworks and then lighting a $1 firework, a $10, $50, $375, $1,000, $10,000. Then we did some content, then $40,000, $100,000, and then the world record. As you get deeper in the video, the stakes get higher. The payoff of the world record is at the end, and it's such a beautiful format that really allows you to deviate as long as you want, as long as things get cooler. I fucking love stair-stepping. Another example would be the ones where I get chased like bounty hunter military FBI. Just like the Last to Leave challenges, you don't know until the end of the video what the result is. Will they catch me? Will I get away? You've got to watch until the end of the video. Throughout the history of this channel, we've been through many formats. A big one back in the day was donating to Twitch streamers, and people loved them. I'd go into random streams and donate $10,000 to a streamer to see how they'd react. All in all, we did like 12 of them, and when I stopped, people still begged for more, and that's because people like Steve Jobs says, people don't know what they want. The viewer may think they want a format forever, but they don't. They want new and fresh things. This is evident because every channel that rehashes formats over years always dies. This is why I'm constantly ditching formats in exchange for new videos. Ideally, 2 videos of the same format are not back to back. I'd like multiple different videos in between them if possible. Which is ironic because I would argue that every time I've seen a MrBeast video, the thumbnails look the same and the title is the same. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, when I see a MrBeast video, it looks the same as the last MrBeast video. So he's not really doing the greatest job at that. Who is our audience? Here are some screenshots from the back end. Europe is a big percentage, but it's broken up into countries, so it doesn't seem like it. Okay. Viewers. Our content is consumed by everyone. Kids watch the videos with their mom, even though our female viewership is only 30%. That's still 9-figure views a month from women, and it's worldwide, but not too worldwide. 50% plus is still American in Europe, but despite saying all that, at its core, I had to describe it, I'd say the average MrBeast viewer is a teenage memer that likes video games. I'd say the average MrBeast viewer is a teenage memer that likes video games. Fucking loser. You should watch our videos. If you're going to be working at MrBeast brand, how are people reading this to this point and they're not getting hired by him? Like, what a waste of money if not. If you're going to be working for the MrBeast brand, you should be a fan of the Beast brand. A lot of very valuable knowledge comes with watching vast amounts of our videos. I feel silly for having to write this all the time. But most people have only seen like 5 or 6 of our videos, and it's mind-blowing that they don't see a problem with that. LOL. As I said earlier, I'd love for you to watch all the channels, but especially the main ones, seeing how you're going to be working on it. To get 60% up to speed, I'd watch our last 50-ish videos. He is literally making them read 36 pages of this, and then is saying you need to watch our last 50 videos and then watch every video we've made on every fucking channel. Man, no. Women, no. Memer, yes. Luigi said, a ridiculously long Adam McIntyre live stream. We are so back. Hey. We're going to be doing a lot of live streams this month, I think. Before I go to LA. We're going to be doing live streams pretty often, I think. Don't quote me to that. If you're a monster and really want to understand the history of the company and the innovations we've been through, I'd recommend you watch every single video until you watch back to the 10 million subscriber special. Anything before that is a waste of time. If you've seen every video we've made since 10 million subscribers, then you will have so much context and information others wouldn't have. Brand deals or content. If you watch a lot of YouTube, you'll probably notice that when someone does a brand deal, it's boring and sounds like they're reading a script. We take a different approach to brand deals. We'd like to use code Adam50 on adamandeve.com, y'all, please. I need to pay my rent. We'd like to integrate them into the content so it doesn't nuke our retention and boost conversation. Remember that I told you we could see the exact number of viewers that watch our videos? Here's a retention graph for when we did a brand deal the old way. Notice the crater when the brand deal is. People skipped it and clicked off the video. Now, here's a retention chart of a new style. The dip is way less dramatic and for the most part something I can live with to help fund the videos. Brand deals are content, and when treated as such, boost retention. We need to make them interesting and entertaining. Also, fun fact, the last CEO that sponsored a video said that the return was 1.7x the return they get on an NFL championship game ad. He said with NFL commercial, you get a giant spike of customers day one and then it disappears forever after that, where as a brand deal with us, you get a huge spike for a few days and then it settles down and you get a respike when we upload again. Because after they watch the new video, they typically go back and watch the other ones. Or unless they're an employee and they have to go back and rewatch it, right, Jimmy? And even after that, our videos typically get millions of views a month after, aka tons of residual customers. We're on page 34! Yes! Yes! We're almost done! Oh my god, I've only read the fucking handy book and I'm fucking exhausted. Exhausted! How is it to fucking work with them? We're almost there. Understand culture. What you consume on social media, what you watch on YouTube, TV, the games you play, etc., or what I like to call your information diet. I love that he's now trying to like dictate their life outside of working for him as well. It's perfect. Like, you have to watch all 50 of his videos. You're not getting paid to do that. And now he wants to control what you're doing outside of your time. Okay, all right. Chris Tyson, our first subscriber and the guy in our videos, is a wonderful example of an information diet being used to perfection. It's Ava Chris Tyson now. The dude is funny as fuck. I've never met anyone in my life that can make anyone laugh like he can, and I never understood why he was so good at it until I lived with him and for a few years ago. The dude, by the way, Ava Chris Tyson, is she, her now. The only reason I'm reading it as it is because I'm trying to read this as quick as possible, and it would make my brain take too long to switch out every pronoun, but just know that it is Ava Chris Tyson now, she, her. The dude watches an obscene amount of cartoons and stupid shit. His eyeballs exist to get copious amounts of goofy, dumb, and brain-numbing content. And as a result, he can quote almost any line from any episode of SpongeBob. He's able to draw so much from so much stupid shit in his head as inspiration to make jokes and be quirky. As a result, he's freaking hilarious. But let's imagine a different Chris. Let's say instead of cartoons and stupid shit, his information diet was stocks and investing advice. And for 5 years, that's all he's consumed. Do you think he'd just be as funny as he is currently? No. He, in my opinion, wouldn't even be 20% as funny. If you're a writer or director, you really need to monitor and perfect your information diet. If your diet is not correct, he's literally telling them what to do outside of work as well. God. You won't have a good pulse on culture. I don't want you to be a Chris, in fact. I think that would probably do you harm. Talent needs to inhale cartoons so they can be funny. Writers need to inhale inspiration. Let's say there is a purple fruit in the middle of Australia that when eaten makes you 2 feet taller. If it truly did exist, you wouldn't have known that just till right now. But now that you know it, you can draw on it for inspiration for every piece of content you can write moving forward. That's beautiful. It can now sit in the back of your mind waiting for the one video where it's needed. It might take 10 videos or 100 videos, but eventually you're brainstorming a bit and you'll think of it. Apply this to everything on the fucking planet. You can't get inspired by things you don't even know exist. So, how do you learn more about what's out there? How do you stay up to date in the latest memes? How do you know what's going on with celebrities? What's trending on YouTube? What's going on with creators? What's popping on TikTok? Your information diet. Consume things on a daily basis that will help you write better content. It's so fucking crazy that he's literally telling them what to do with their time. Oh my god. This is a really bad ending. It's okay for the boys to be childish. He's literally, this is a boys club. Like Rosanna keeps saying, it's okay for the boys to be childish. If talent, like his friends, want to draw a dick on the whiteboard in a video or do something stupid, let them. Assuming they know the risks and aren't missing context on why it's not safe. People like when we're in our natural element of stupidity. Really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. Fucking bullshit. That's such a fucking bullshit. Help the boys be boys. Oh, help them be boys. Fucking annoying. We don't fake things. Oh, but I thought you planned the videos and the content down to the minute, then how can it not be fake? Make sure to prep contestants and try to create an environment where they feel comfortable. If you wrote a banger piece of content, but it's a 50-50 chance of working, write another piece of content. Content's unlimited. Don't be lazy. Run your content by as many people as possible for inspiration on how you can make it better. I want famous people in our videos. Wow, he's really just not, he's just cutting to the chase, isn't he? Don't ever put me in a situation where I have to lie, because I won't and it'll screw the video. No dull moments in videos. You can't fake intensity in videos. The video endings must be abrupt to protect retention. This isn't really a creative thing, but in general, when on set, be attentive and engaged. Filming days are stressful. Be useful, please. Last page. Chapter 4. Your career. You've now had to hear about him for 35 fucking pages. Now it's your turn, babe. Fuck me. Christ. If you've made it this far, don't fucking remind me. You're probably at least semi-interested in this being your career. Or you're fucking crazy is what I'm gonna say. So I wanted to chat about it. Because if you're ambitious and want to dedicate your life to... That's such a crazy way to say about when you're about to be hired. If you want to dedicate your life to my work, you've picked the best company in America to do it. I really don't care to hoard a bunch of money, and I deeply believe in rewarding the people that help this business get to where it's supposed to be. But before I get into that, let's talk about the future. Okay, sure. Naz said I could use a cigarette after this. I want a cigarette after this. As I write this, we have 2 teams. That will grow into 4 in the next year. and possibly 8 in the next 2 years. But I can't talk about that because James will kill me. Haha. All right, here's my thing. Let me pause here a second. What does this mean for Mr. Beast now that all of this is like leaking? And the Beast Games show, like, what happens now? Like, the facade has been broken. We need more leaders in this company. We need hardworking, there it is again, obsessive, coachable, intelligent grinders that can step up and take some of these leadership spots over the next 2 years. Every single department has an opportunity for you to grow, and if you're in luck, because we don't do yearly reviews. Oh, and you're in luck because we don't do yearly reviews. We do whatever the fuck you want reviews. If you want to become a production manager, tell James your intention and ask him why you suck and how you can be better. Seriously, he will give you a list of things that you need to improve to become what we need. And if you actually listen and master those things, sorry, I'm just so happy that the end is in sight. Look at that beautiful white page at the bottom. I'm so excited. We will give you a shot at the role. Only problem is most people think they're better than they actually are, which is a crazy thing to say as well. And don't take seriously when we need to give them things to improve and then wonder why they never move up. This isn't, whatever that word means, corporate company. You don't have to do something for 5 years to get a promotion. I hate the word promotion. The more responsibility, risk you help us navigate, and overall bullshit you deal with, the more you make. And if you want more of that, we will gladly help train you to receive it. Ha ha, he loves throwing in a ha ha, right? He loves throwing in a ha ha. Dear God. There is infinite room for you to grow. This isn't a stepping stone. This isn't a stepping stone. This is your final destination. This is so weird. We will win. And we are going to build something amazing. I see a world where this company is worth billions, tens of billions, and those of you that help build it will be rewarded. I want nothing more than for you to go all in. Obsessive. He had to throw one more in there. All day, every day. And become so goddamn valuable this company can't operate without you. And in return for becoming so valuable, I hope to give you the most incredible experiences. A fun place to work. And of course, more money than you can ever dream of making. Now read this all over again because I got... You motherfucker! Now read this all over again because I guarantee you didn't retain enough. Fuck you! Fuck you! Read this over again? Fuck you! Fuck you! It drained my life trying to read it once. Bite me. That was worse than I could have ever imagined. Ever imagined. God bless those Mr. Beast production workers. They are in the trenches. This is genuinely worse than I could have ever imagined. But I feel like I've read it now, so I'm qualified to sign up to work there. Should I do it for funsies? It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's just like, it just goes to show that, like, he's just uses people, doesn't value them, and then the end being like, I'll give you so much money. Bullshit. We'll leave it there. Oh my God, we're done. We did it, y'all. 36 pages. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of me. Oh my God. Holy fuck.